Hello and welcome to SMPTE Elections 20. Cooper with Mindshare Capture Consulting, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to Hans Hoffman, who's going to be running for the Executive Vice President role with SMPTE as we go forward into this new election season at SMPTE. Very exciting. Hans, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and to share your views and your vision for SMPTE as we go into this next segment of its evolution.
Absolutely. I'm very happy to share that with you.
So tell us a little bit about the Executive VP role for which you are running for election, and why you feel that this is an important opportunity for you to contribute to the SMPTE body.
Yeah, so the Executive VP role, its duties are laid out in the operations manual, but I don't want to talk too much actually about the theory, more about the practical things, because it matches very much also my daily job, what I do at the EBU. We need to understand the changes in the media landscape, and it's going drastically fast. So it means to develop the right strategies, most importantly to implement them, which is something where it takes too long sometimes. In my view, we need to be faster, but also to work with a great team. In the SMPTE, we have the Board of Governors, which are fantastic people. We have the Executive Board, and we have, of course, the staff in White Plains. And I think for me as a personality to look out what's coming next, to develop the right strategies and really drive to implement what we promise to implement together with the colleagues, that's very important. And this is, I hope, where I can really make a significant contribution to SMPTE.
So let's talk about SMPTE and your vision for the role that it can play. You've mentioned the fast pace at which things are developing, new technologies that are coming in.
Right. Correct.
You know, everything from artificial intelligence to virtual reality. What do you see as the role that SMPTE can play in some of these, very new school technologies, given that in a lot of ways SMPTE is an old school kind of an institution?
Well, yeah, it's always said we are old school, but actually it's not true. Yeah, it's not true. I mean, yes, we need to recognize that with the move to a more software-driven world, we need to act faster. And probably the old, very historical, and here you are right, probably, where we say the old methodology of developing and introducing technology to the market by, here is an idea, let's try a little bit the idea, let's document what we have learned, let's develop the standard. So the linear model, this might not be longer relevant in the future. So in the future, we are going to do many things in parallel. So we look at user requirements, but immediately we go for fast prototyping. It might be that we do not have standards in paper versions as in the old times in the foreseeable future. Code might be the standard. Code might lead actually developments, but it does not mean that we do not need to have a very stable interoperable environment. So there are benefits, but of course we need to keep pace in doing things differently to be relevant actually for the industry in the future. So I don't agree always if people say SMPTE is traditional, is old-fashioned. It's the contrary, I have to say. But of course, there is homework what we need to do. And this would be part of my job to help that we do the right homework, to stay relevant. That is also one of my major objectives, I have to say. The world is changing fast, but it needs organizations such as SMPTE.
Very interesting. A large mandate that you set for yourself. Those are big objectives to change not just processes, but possibly the culture of an organization to absorb some of those concepts that you've indicated.
Absolutely.
A big job. You already have a big job. Why have you done these extra responsibilities? What was it about the opportunity to serve in this executive VP role that drove you to throw your hat in the ring?
Well, I think, there are several objectives. Of course, the EBU itself, my organization, benefits a lot from SMPTE. All the public service media and broadcasters in Europe benefit a lot because our investment strategies are going to use the standards which are defined here. We're using the educational material. It's also a fantastic environment, we have to say. Personally, personally, and this is of course a driver because we are all volunteers in these jobs. Personally, I think what for me counts is a fantastic global network of colleagues. It is the established industries, it's the established users, what I know, and future friends, which I'm going to make certainly through that role. It is the working together and developing strategies, shaping the industry's future in media. It's also White Plains office, of course, fantastic colleagues there. Barbara, the whole team over there is very motivated. And that's what I'm driving for is really to work with this motivated team of SMPTE members, but also to look out for new members. And wherever you go around the globe, you always find SMPTE people somewhere. And it's a fantastic family. But we have challenges ahead, of course.
Very interesting, Hans. Thank you very much for sharing your views on the role that you intend to play. And I think you've introduced a digital diplomacy dimension to your function that I think is going to be very important. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat and for helping us better understand what the future of SMPTE might look like as you take on this executive VP role. Best of luck with the election.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the time. Bye.